How to tear the dash out of a B2600, which is really easy. Alright, so tools we need for taking a B2600 dash out are 1/4 inch ratchet, long extension, elbow sometimes, uni joint sometimes, but probably not, and a 10mm socket. Also need a Phillips head screwdriver, just a number 2, which is basically size for most of your normal size screws and shit. And we'll need a skinny flathead, basically to pick screw covers off. So I'll start off. Alright, so there is screws hiding behind this cover here, this cover here, this cover here, this one here, and the same on the other side here. So these are a prick to get out without damaging. Obviously someone's painted this truck and not masked it up properly.
Really hard to get it on hand. So 1, 2, 3. When you finish that, come. 4. It's probably why it's so expensive. I hate these ones.
Alright, we're going to get the 3 bolts on the top. Out. There's the 5th, so there's 5 across on each. There's 1 on each end of the dash and 3 across the top. There's also 2 under the dash here, above your kick panels here. So we'll get to them in a minute. But we'll start tearing this fascia off. So 2 screws at the top of the dash cluster surround, and then that, and then 2 under there. So 4 screws holding the cluster surround on, which is part of the fascia. So 4 screws holding that on, and then it just pulls out. 1 screw for this little sucker here, and then that unclips. Don't forget to take that little knob off that adjusts your airflow. So that comes off. Disconnect our buttons off the back here. And then your right hand side vent is out. Now for the heater controls, you've got to pull these knobs off here. Yeah, it's just a tight little bastard. Alright, so those 2 there, and then I've got a screw here which is behind the cluster surround. And there's also a screw hidden behind this little thing, this little panel here. There it is there. I've broken a couple of these forgetting to undo that one. So I remember now. So comes off. These little nuts come off our heater controls, and then that face is ready to pull off. That is our AC button. It just broke out of its hole. A couple of globes that illuminate the heater controls, and our cigarette lighter. That is our middle vents and our heater control fascia taken off. Next up, I suppose we better do the stereo fascia. So there's three screws on the side of this. You only have to undo the two lower ones, these two here. You don't have to undo this one up here. They usually have one there, but I never put it back in, and I've had this out. Many people have had it out and they broke the plastic thing anyway, so I didn't bother putting it back in. Unplug our stereo, our speaker. And that's how easy the stereo fascia comes out. I might take this steering wheel. That's broken through, so that doesn't matter. There's two screws, one each side at the front, and then there is one back here that screws it to the column, and then another one here that screws the bottom to the top. So that should just unclip. That's our top column cover, and this needs to come around the key. That's our bottom column cover. Righto, so to remove cluster, there is 4 screws, one down here, now we just pry our cluster forward, and it's usually stiff because the speedo cable holds it back. You just have to pull it and then you can reach behind it. Let's see if I can reach behind it, and there's a clip for your speedo cable. That comes undone, and then you've got big plugs. That's your cluster out. Your speedo cable has a clip like that, so if you're trying to get back there without seeing, you just have to push that in and that little thing comes out. Next up's a 10mm in there. Now to remove the dash, we do need the combination switch off, so we will remove that now. So to remove combination switch, there is a screw here, and it's like a hose clamp within it, so you just have to loosen that screw off. Let me get my buff head in here. Loosen that off, and then it's not clamped anymore, and then just undo your plugs at the back of it. Once you've undone your plugs at the back of it, just slide it off, and that's it. Right, next up is you can do fuse panel. So that just pops out, a couple of clips. Just put your fuse door down and pull it towards yourself. Fuse panel's off. 2 screws holding the fuse panel on at the top. Undo those suckers. And then your fuse panel is right. So just push into the dash popping out. Alright, steering column cover, 2 screws down at the bottom. And pull it towards yourself because it has 2 clips like that, so you have to undo the bottom of it and then pull it upwards and outwards. And then there is a bar underneath. There is that support rod that goes under the column that joins the skeleton of the dash across there. Next up, 2 bolts under here that join the dash to the body. Alright, so our dash is starting to become loose. Next I'll get kick panels off each side, get the rubbish out of the glove box and take the glove box out. I'll show you how to do that. And then there's a bolt behind the glove box that attaches the skeleton of the dash to the body. And yeah, those 2 bolts under each side of the kick panels. Above the kick panels there we've got to undo and we should be right. So got our kick panels off, and that is the stud that holds the bottom of the dash on, so it has a nut on it. Both sides have that. So just got to undo those. Now to get the glove box out. Righto, to get the glove box out, you have to undo the glove box lid. So all those 5 screws, and that just lifts out, and it has a little kick on it, so you just lift it out and then drop it down. Then 2 screws in each top corner of the glove box. And then the latch screws. And then your glove box will pull out. Then there is that bolt there that you see right there is the one we have to remove. We do have to disconnect that bonnet popper, and then that should be about it. As you can see, you just have to lift the dash when it's in its place. You just have to lift it up so that stud comes out, and then pull it forwards and it'll drop out, and do the same on that side. First we're going to release that bonnet popper and we should be right. Righto, dash is out. This is where the dash loom attaches. Now to disconnect it you have to reach behind the plug, and there's a button on the other side of the plug. Push that and pull out. And you also have to disconnect this and this, which is your heater box stuff. What else? Oh, instead of pushing the heater module through, I just disconnected the linkage from here and linkage from here, which is just a couple of clips, and a linkage from here, which you'll see behind your dash. When it comes to pulling it out, it's pretty easy to get to. But there you go.